football. Sponsored by Budweiser.
I don't care what you want to do. I smiled at you all scared. Is this wild? Time to get back on the top.
Let's get tuned up.
Play ball, okay? Let's play ball.
Last week, the Super Bowl field was cut in half. 4 teams went home and 4 moved on. This week, the equation's the same, but the stakes are higher. It's the Super Bowl semi-finals, and only the winners move on to Pasadena.
Final Four don't mean nothing. It's the last 2 teams that make it to the final game. That's the most important game.
Emmitt Smith, the league's rushing champion, leads the Dallas Cowboys into San Francisco to face the 49ers for the NFC Championship. It's a matchup of the 2 teams with the best records in the NFL. And many fans believe that this is the Super Bowl in all but name.
Since like week 4 or 5, a lot of people are waiting to see this game. So finally it's here, and it's going to be a good one.
And there's another great matchup in the AFC Championship game, as perennial Eastern Division rivals, the Bills and the Dolphins, clash. Dan Marino is focused and playing like a man who knows he's running out of chances to win a Super Bowl. And for once, he has help on the other side of the ball.
We got a defense, and I like to say defenses win Super Bowls.
For Buffalo, Jim Kelly should be back from injury. But after 2 playoff victories under Frank Reich, the Bills are confident whoever's at quarterback.
We going out there to win. It doesn't matter if Jim start, Frank start, I start, whoever start. We're going out to win, and that's what all really matters. When the dust settles, we want to be on top.
The Bills are seeking their 3rd straight Super Bowl appearance. In the last 2 years, they've frozen opponents out of the playoffs in Rich Stadium, Buffalo. But today, it's the Dolphins who are at home in the heat of Miami.
That's the good thing about having home field advantage right here. I get to sleep in my bed all week. I don't have to get on any plane. The next plane ride I want to take is to Pasadena.
Hello everyone and welcome. Well, after 20 weeks of NFL excitement, it's down to just 4 teams in 2 games to decide who will represent the NFC and who will represent the AFC in Pasadena for Super Bowl 27. As tonight we bring you the Conference Championship games. From the AFC, the Buffalo Bills take on the Miami Dolphins. We'll have highlights from that match in a moment. We'll follow that with live coverage of the whole game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys from Candlestick Park. Gary's flown to San Francisco and will once again keep us up to date with the latest news from the sidelines.
This may not look very dignified, but it's the hottest selling game day accessory in San Francisco. And the undisputed media star here this week hasn't been a coach or a quarterback. It's been the NFL's head groundsman, George Toma, flown in here after last week's mudbath to try and create a field fit for the NFC Championship game. I'll be back before kickoff in just under an hour's time to let you know whether his efforts have succeeded.
Thanks, Gary. Joining me here in the studio is an old friend who brags a pretty good record in championship games, having participated as a player, as an assistant coach and as a head coach. And here's the best part, he's won on all 3 occasions. I am, of course, talking about Sam Wyche, now the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sam, welcome.
Well, good to be here, Mick. Good to be back.
Now, tell me something. Have we got the 4 best teams from the league here now?
I think you got 4 of the 5 best teams. The other team I'd put in there is the New Orleans Saints. We played them in Tampa Bay in the mid-season, and they've got probably the best defense we saw all year long. 4 Pro Bowlers and defensive linebackers, but 4 of the 5 have made it here.
They've got to have an offense to go with that as well. If you've been with us this season, you'll know that we've been offering a chance to win a trip for 2 to Pasadena. So if you were one of our weekly winners, you certainly will want to stay tuned, as later in the program, I'll be telling you which one of you will be joining us for Super Bowl 27. For all of you viewers that are interested, the playoff question for our lucky winners was, how many touchdowns have been scored in all 26 Super Bowls? Over the next couple of hours, I'll give you a chance to think about the answer. Our winners had all of 15 seconds. Well, now let's get on with the action, and we start with the Buffalo Bills, who are in Miami to play the Dolphins. And despite having played in 6 championship games each, surprisingly, these 2 teams have never met at this stage before. The biggest talking point of this game has been Jim Kelly coming back from injury to start at quarterback for the Bills. His backup, Frank Reich, has led Buffalo to victory in the first 2 weeks of the playoffs in gallant style. And a poll of fans in Buffalo voted 5-1 in favour of Reich. But Coach Levy's going with Kelly. And Sam, you've known quarterbacks your whole career. You've coached the most of it as a coach. Do you agree with that decision to start Kelly?
Well, I don't think it's so much the decision, but the way the decision's made. And I think Marv Levy's done it the right way. He told everybody out in front for several weeks now that as soon as Jim Kelly's back, he's going to be the quarterback. If I were the coach, I think I would have gone the other way. I'd have gone with Frank Wyche. That way, if something's not going right, you bring in the old starter. He comes in, there's a little more pizzazz going into the game.
Not a bad decision to have to make, though.
No, not.
On the other side of the field, well, there's only one man for the quarterback job, Dan Marino. And about the only NFL honor Dan doesn't possess is a Super Bowl ring, and he wants it badly. The big difference this year is that the Dolphins have a defense to back up the great arm of Marino. Give Dan field position and he'll win your games. Last week, the defense forced 3 fumbles and 4 interceptions as the Dolphins crushed the Chargers 31-0. But significantly, the Dolphins lost a close game at Joe Robbie Stadium to the Bills just in November. And Sam, they've got to be thinking about that last loss, don't they, to the Bills? What have they got to do?
Well, you know, I think anytime you get into a game like this, that game or the playoff games, you think about turnovers first. And not only just the turnovers, fumbles and interceptions, but what you do, the resulting points from those turnovers. I think Miami, on the other hand, has to mix the run. You know, they are a passing team. Dan Marino's the man. But they've got to balance somewhat with the running game or else they're going to be in trouble. And then I think those young defensive players have to do a good job defensively against Jim Kelly and company for the Miami Dolphins to have a chance today.
If they can play like they did last week against the Chargers, they're going to do it. But how about the Bills? What have they got to do to win today?
Well, let's leave the same point at number 1, and that's turnovers. In any big game, that decides the ball game. And not only the turnovers, but when you get those turnovers, do you get points? And if you turn it over, do you stop the opponent from getting points? I think that's one thing. I think they're going to be in a lot of third down and long situations today, and that third down conversion is going to be real important. And then finally, I think as much as anything else that you're going to find, do they get to Dan Marino? This is the key if they can stop him.
Now, I know that right now in the playoffs, you've predicted everyone that was going to go through. So I'm going to ask you, what's your predictions today?
Yeah, I'm 100% going into this one. I'm picking the Miami Dolphins today at home.
Well, I have to admit, my heart's also with Dan Marino, so I hope that the Dolphins win as well. So without further ado, let's go over to a sunny Joe Robbie Stadium to join an excited 74,000 fans and our commentators Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy. As we pick up the action, it's Miami's possession with their first drive of the game from their own 10-yard line.
Contrasting crowd noise, absolute silence from Marino to get off his call. Just a couple for Humphrey. Second down and 8. Oh, getting a hand on the ball, flying into the picture was Darryl Talley. On third down and 8. Marino wide open is Banks, and he has a first down. May have fumbled. No signal yet. Rule. No fumble, and it's Buffalo's ball down at the 25. Nate Odoms.
Banks catches it. Odoms comes from behind, pulls it away, and the two coaches told us that turnovers were key. First one goes in favor of the Buffalo Bills in wonderful field position.
Two tight ends. Kelly down the middle. Intercepted. J.B. Brown to the 35-yard line. Oh, my.
So the opening minutes of the game have certainly seen fortunes change. On the fourth play of the next drive, Dan Marino is sacked and the Bills recovered the fumble. As we rejoin the action, Buffalo has a first and 10.
Thomas again, ripping up the middle, and is close to another first down before David Griggs can bring him to that lush carpet.
You know, these are big yards for Buffalo rushing. Last week, Miami held San Diego to just 70 yards rushing for the game. Thomas is doing very well here at the start.
They had only 3 first downs that San Diego rushing, and Buffalo already with 4 today. Not much this time as Klingbeil, one of the top pupils of Joe Green, the defensive line coach with Miami this year. He said, I learned more in 1 year from Mean Joe than I did my entire life.
God, they share another thing in common. They have championship rings. Joe's from the NFL, Klingbeil's from the CFL.
Won the Grey Cup. Member of Saskatchewan Roughriders. Davis hit hard by Griggs. Collier there as well. Third down and 7. Shula, Tom Olivodati sent in a couple of extra defensive players. Kenneth Davis comes in for Buffalo. Davis, what a backup to Thomas. Thomas had carried the last 4 times. There's Davis. He had over 600 yards this season. He's had a big playoff so far. Screen to Davis. To the 5, to the 3. That's going to be close to a first down. Good second effort. He was hit at the 5.
Actually, you know, we said at the outset, sometimes you need breaks. Miami defends this screen very well. The screen goes to the outside, but there are Miami defenders out there. Davis takes it straight up the field.
Marv Levy in his 7th year with Buffalo, looking for 3 straight Super Bowl trips. That's short on 4th down, and Levy says, get me the 3. 21-yard attempt. And the Bills lead 3-0. Bruce Smith sack and forced fumble on Marino leads to Christie's 21-yard field goal. Humphrey twisting into Buffalo territory, a gain of 3. In fact, Clayton and Duper, Bob, when the value of these 2 Marks brothers for Miami, 150 touchdowns between them here in Miami. That's just regular season.
Marino, Clayton, and Duper have to feel like triplets. I mean, their professional careers have just been so close, but look at the drought for the Marks brothers. That's why getting them involved in the game early is so key today.
Good point. 2nd down and 7. Miami trailing 3-0. 4 minutes to go, first quarter. Jackson. Henry Jones drags him down. First down at the Buffalo 38.
From behind the defense, remember the first game that Keith Jackson played as a Miami Dolphin was against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Henry Jones, the Pro Bowl tight end, safety on the tight end. Jackson has such marvelous ability.
Marino deep. Jack Clayton off his fingertips. Covered by Jones and J.D. Williams. Clayton had a shot.
From behind the defense, you'll see to avoid the pass rush of several Buffalo Bills. Watch how closely this comes to being a completion. How about that throw?
Bobby Humphrey finds a little crease. 3rd and 4. Marino captured by Cornelius Bennett. So Smith and Bennett, names well known around the league. 2 outstanding defenders are making plays early today. And let's see if Stoyanovich goes for the long field goal. Yes, Stoyanovich from 52. He has kicked one 58. Plenty of leg. Good.
Strong leg. Great concentration. Practices on uprights that are 8 feet apart. Those normal uprights there for the hash marks, 18.5 feet apart. Look, he even slips and still hits at 51. That's how strong a leg he has.
Amazing. Reed. And Reed to the 50, but a flag is down. Could be roughing against Miami, as Brian Cox could have hit Kelly late.
Don Shula describes this defense as aggressive, something we've been missing for years. But there has to be a point where it's over-aggressive, and, well, that's pretty close. You know, the defender has allowed that next step. I think if he had gone a little lower, he might have got away with it. But in the in this league, protecting the quarterback is something I agree with. I like the call.
15-yard penalty to the 35. And met smartly. Jeff Cross, the defender, playing inside for the first time in his career. In junior college out at Riverside of California, he was a blocking tight end. Then as a defensive end at Missouri, he was a late pick in the 9th round because he was so small, less than 250. Now he said, all of a sudden, I'm playing inside.
Yeah.
I got to get bigger.
Yeah, he said, I left training camp with soreness. It's never left.
He said, I still inside. I get hit both sides every play. This is Kenneth Davis, and he has a first down at the 22 of Miami. 13 more yards. Brian Cox, the tackler. Final seconds, opening quarter.
And, Dick, they can't win this matchup. They can't allow a linebacker to be covering these running backs out of the backfield. That time, Davis on Cox. Davis will win that every time.
End of one. Tied in Miami.
Well, it's been an excellent quarter for the Bills and a game of mistakes so far for the Dolphins, who have only 3 first downs and 2 turnovers. To see if the Dolphins can stop this so far overpowering Bills, join us after this break.
Get some enthusiasm out there. Let's get play ball, okay? Let's play ball. Let's get play ball, okay? Let's play ball.
Welcome back. Well, no touchdowns in the first quarter, but Miami must be wondering what would have happened if Mark Clayton had caught this great Marino pass. It could have been a big play for them. As it is, we go back to the second quarter tied at 3 apiece, and we pick it up with the Bills on their first drive.
Buffalo, the top rushing team in the NFL this year, is averaging 5.3 a rush. That'll get it done. Thomas, not quite to the average on first down. David Griggs with the stop. Thurman Thomas back in.
So gifted, this young man. So gifted.
Well, he was the NFL most valuable player a year ago and actually had better numbers this year, and everyone feels he had a down season. Kelly to the end zone. Andre Reed can't pull it in. From our angle, that looked to be a beautiful throw.
Well, this is a matchup that Buffalo wants all day. You see Stephen Bragg's 36 on Andre Reed. Buffalo believes they can win that. That's a major concern for the Miami Dolphins. The out and up is a low percentage completion. They still almost make it for 6.
Reed comes out slot left, and Braggs moves over to cover him again. Now they're in tandem as Reed goes in motion. Thomas on the screen. Thomas, touchdown Buffalo. "17-yard play. I don't think he was touched."
Beautifully executed, sold well by the quarterback. He looks downfield knowing the screen is coming. Watch 51 Brian Cox trying to fight through there. Again, he's the coverage guy on Thurman Thomas. Beautiful blocking out front by Jim Richer, along with other members of the offensive line. This screen system that Buffalo runs, beautiful.
Steve Christie's try for point. Out of Reich's hold, and the Bills lead it 10-3. Thurman Thomas from Jim Kelly, a 17-yard play. Miami trailing 10-3 from their 23. Batted in the air, intercepted. Phil Hansen, North Dakota State.
Here's Hansen right here, a little bit of penetration and his hands up. He makes the hit and the catch. Now that's some reactions. What's that guy doing on defense?
That's the daily double.
Make him a receiver.
Ball to Buffalo at the 17.
This is something that teams try to do against Dan Marino. Get their hands up, pressure in his face. It's working, and the turnovers are certainly working in favor of Buffalo too.
3 now for Buffalo, and almost 1 on the kickoff return. Flags go down as Kelly takes the snap. Jeff Cross, 91 on his back.
False start, left side of the line. Before the snap.
5 yards, first down.
Thurman Thomas to the 15-yard line behind Jim Richard. J.B. Brown, the cornerback, makes the stop. And Thomas in this first half moving close to 100 yards total offense.
This is the counter. Richard 51, Parker 65. Thurman Thomas uses those blockers so beautifully. If Miami can't stop that play, they have no chance today.
Thomas hit at the 15 by Collier, and that'll bring up third down. Thomas already with 91 yards in this opening half. Miami with a total of 70 yards of offense.
And remember, in the 2 games that the teams played this season, Dick, Thurman Thomas had a total of 87 yards rushing in the 2 games.
Trailing 10-3, big play for the Miami defense. Kelly hand delivering the audible. Thomas caught in the backfield. Larry Webster, a rookie from Maryland, a third-round pick, number 79, got him around the ankles.
Dick, I can see why they tried to put in the audible there. The Miami Dolphins come with the 47 defense. Defensive backs all over the field, including here, and they try to run a trap up the middle, but the defensive line does a good job and stops it. They're trying to take advantage of that 47 look. Couldn't pop Thurman Thomas through there.
So here's Christie with a 33-yard attempt, trying to get 3 out of Phil Hansen's interception. Dead center. Buffalo 13, Miami 3. 12 to go in the first half.
Miami were forced to punt on their next possession. However, it was partially blocked by Steve Tasker, giving the Bills excellent field position. We join their drive at Miami's 15-yard line. It's 2nd down and 6.
Kelly looking for a secondary receiver. Flag down, touchdown to Reed if it counts. Andre Reed, but they'll bring it back, holding Buffalo.
Holding, number 69, offense. 10 yards, second down.
Will Wolford. They don't make many mistakes on this offensive line. He's got the rookie Marco Coleman to cover. Dick, when you look initially here, Thurman Thomas was open, but Kelly's choice is to go for the entire thing. Now you see the right hand grabs a hold of Coleman on the jersey, and that's right in front of Bob McElwee. You see the flag on the ground.
A touchdown denied by penalty. Oops. Keith McKellar, number 84, pulled off his stance, and that'll be 5 more against the Bills.
Ball start, number 84, offense, before the snap. 5 yards, second down.
A little anxious, almost looks like he's turning around to see if they changed the play there.
It did. So from a touchdown erased to now 2nd down and 21 out at the 30-yard line. James Lofton, the veteran from Stanford, who now has 750 career catches in the regular season, tied with his coach Charlie Joyner for number 3 all-time, and has more yards receiving than anyone who's ever played the game. 13-8-2-1.
This is certainly getting repetitive, though. This is another great opportunity about to be squandered by Buffalo.
Thomas into the pattern, but it's to the tight end, McKellar, incomplete. So the Bills with another golden opportunity on the partially blocked punt. Steve Tasker bring on the field goal unit again.
With the way they've had the field position in their favor, the turnovers in their favor, to just be attempting their third field goal here. You can't miss opportunities like that in a conference championship game, no matter how inept to this point the Miami Dolphins offense has been.
For Christie from Oakville, Ontario, where he was a member of Canada's Junior World Cup soccer team. A little longer this time, 38 yards. Hooked it. No good.
The Bills had yet another chance to score in the final minute of the half, but this pass by Jim Kelly was intercepted by Louis Oliver at the Dolphins' 1-yard line. So the halftime score remains Buffalo 13, Miami 3. Well, definitely an interesting first half. The one thing I'm surprised about is the score. I thought the Bills, after that first half performance, should be doing a little bit better and leading by more. Sam, what do you think about that half? Do you agree with me? The Bills really should be leading by more?
Well, they should be, and that's one thing that Don Shula will be saying going into that locker room. Man, you haven't played very well. You've had a lot of turnovers. You've rushed, the quarterback's been rushed, caused some fumbles, caused, when the quarterback's rushed and people are in his face, he hasn't got a line of sight, and he can't step into the throw, and therefore the ball's in the air a little bit longer, and they knock some down. All those things have gone wrong for Miami in the first half, but Buffalo still only leads by 10, 13-3. So as they go into the second half, Miami can at least say we played poorly and we're still in the ball game.
Especially when you have Dan Marino as your quarterback. But the thing you said before the game was that they've got to have the run to help Marino with the pass. Do you think that's been their problem?
Well, they haven't done that. They haven't mixed the run and the pass. If you look at Miami from the offensive standpoint, you've got to have some balance in there. And if you do give it all to the passing game, then you're playing into Buffalo's hands. They know what's coming next. But I think you got to consider the defense too. Miami's played a soft man-to-man defense for most of the ballgame, trying to get some pressure on Jim Kelly, but at the same time not playing real tight man-to-man defense. They have executed, Buffalo has executed the screen very well because they've got man-to-man. They know where those guys are to block them, but they're not up there so tight they take the play away.
Let's turn it now to the Bills' defense. They've played an excellent game, but really they've not taken advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. They're getting in Dan's face, aren't they? They're not giving him time to throw that ball. This is a bunch that are injured, but they're playing well, aren't they?
They're playing well, and Buffalo is an up and down kind of a football team. They're up in the first half of this ball game for sure, but all season long they've been playing very well one game and not so well the next. But their defense is playing beautifully, and their offense, of course, with the no-huddle offense, is doing what we said earlier. They're keeping the ball, therefore they're wearing down that Miami defense.
Throughout the season, they've not been as confident, I think, as they were last year. And now we're seeing Jim Kelly come in, that final pass of the second half, intercepted by Oliver. And a lot of people were saying Wyche wouldn't do that sort of thing. He would protect the ball, maybe take them down for a field goal if they didn't give him anything else. Do you think that's a fair and a valid criticism of Jim Kelly?
Well, I think it's certainly true in this case right here. It was an unwise throw, and you've got to make poised decisions, crucial decisions late in a ball game like that. But Jim Kelly's done too many good things for us to say that he doesn't make good decisions. I think the key to this one is what happens at the start of the second half. When you've got a lead, you go in, it's sometimes easy to let down a little bit. If Buffalo can come out and start fast in the second half, it's their game. But Miami still has a chance to turn it around.
And so Don Shula's definitely said get out there and play some good ball.
Right.
All right, well, let's get back to Joe Robbie Stadium for the second half. So far, Jim Kelly and the Bills have obviously looked pretty good and certainly deserve to be up by 13-3. We rejoin our match commentators on the opening kickoff of the half.
Steve Christie to kick it off. Second half underway. Miami trailing 13-3. It's Mike Williams. Williams
fumble
at the 24, and Buffalo says they have it. They do.
My goodness.
So the problems for the Dolphins continue. The Bills again force a play, and they present Kelly with the ball inside the 25 of Miami.
We should see the entire thing. I think Carwell Gardner eventually comes up with this ball. Pike, 94, makes a hit. Gardner makes the hit. And the recovery, the daily double for Carwell Gardner.
It was Pike, though, that really forced the fumble, and Pike has led the Bills on special teams in tackles all season long. Somewhat unusual for a defensive lineman. Pike, who weighs 272 pounds, he had 26 special teams tackles this year. Another golden chance for the Bills to blow it open. Thomas tripped up at the 21. Chuck Klingbeil getting out there, the nose tackle, number 99.
Dick, last week, of course, Miami had the great field position. Now Marv Levy and his Buffalo Bills enjoy the great field position. Don Shulik, and he's coached enough games to know that what a difference 7 days would make. One Sunday it all goes your way. The next Sunday you can't do anything right.
Spotted at the 20. Thomas again, big hole, and he fumbles. Miami recovers, or do they?
Beebe gets it.
Coleman tried to run with it and dropped it again, and Buffalo gets it right back. Oh my.
Don Beebe gets it. From behind the defense, an excellent push again by the offensive line of the Buffalo Bills. Who strips it away? We'll give it to Oliver. Looked like he stripped it away. Coleman's trying to make a big play here. Just get on the ground and keep it. He never gets off the ground with it, and Don Beebe makes the recovery. First down, Buffalo.
Yes, Marco Coleman, the ball right there. All they had to do is squat on it. It was Miami's ball. He tried to pick it up and run. Didn't pick it up at all.
Rookie mistake.
So it is going all Buffalo's way. Miami with a chance to reverse the trend. Thomas doesn't get much as Jeff Cross is there to welcome. Clifford Hobley was the man who forced the fumble from the backside on Thomas, who rarely coughs up the ball. For all of his carries, all of his exposures, he is sure-handed.
Well, the percentages say today that Buffalo will not score a touchdown. They've been in here and gotten field goals.
Thomas saving a touchdown was Lewis Oliver. He was the last Dolphin left.
Well, coming right at you. Look at Wyche, 51, 69. Great block by 35, Carwell Gardner. Thurman Thomas sets up his block so beautifully. You can't coach it, and he leaves the game. And who is this other guy coming in here? Kenneth Davis? Who's he?
They like to use him on the goal line, and they also like to use the pass to the lineman, Mitch Farrat, who is an eligible receiver lined up on the left side. He has 3 touchdowns this year. Nope, it's Davis. Can he get around the corner? No signal yet. Yes. Touchdown. Davis using his speed. He's actually faster than Thomas. In fact, he says the linemen say, slow it up. Don't be quite so quick. Let us set up the blocks.
That little step inside, that little hesitation just freezes the defense. And then it's a foot race with Griggs 92 to the sideline. And the official right there in front puts his hands up. Well, they take out Thurman Thomas. They put in Kenneth Davis. And he makes an all-pro run for a score.
So Mike Williams' fumble on the kickoff return to start the second half becomes 6 points. And here's Christie trying for 7. And it took Buffalo just 2 minutes to get the job done from 24 yards out, although Thomas had fumbled. And apparently Miami had a recovery in its grasp, but Marco Coleman trying to do too much, perhaps a rookie mistake. Davis leaning across the goal line, and Buffalo leads 20-3.
Well, from the kickoff, Dan Marino again couldn't kickstart his offense as Miami were forced to punt and give possession to Buffalo again.
20-3 Buffalo with 9 minutes to go. Davis tries to reverse, but not this time. Marco Coleman makes the tackle for a loss back at the 39.
It's seldom that they try just the straight little handoff here to the outside. Normally they try to pull a guy. Wolford there is trying to block Marco Coleman, who for 265 pounds, Coleman is one of the best run defensive ends you can find in the league.
Kelly drills it complete. And it is Andre Reed wrestled down by Braggs. Braggs, you can see those big arm pads. They call him Chicken Wings, is his nickname here with Miami. He uses those as part of his defensive armor.
But in covering Andre Reed, there should be little contact. Reed, a good push up the field. Actually, Braggs plays it pretty darn well. You can't do much better than that with a 7 or 8 yard cushion, and somebody comes flying through there.
3rd and a short 6. Buffalo 9 for 13 on 3rd down. first down at the 19, and a great throw by Kelly. They were blitzing him, and he was throwing just as he was going to have to eat about a 225-pound charge.
And he stands in there. Look at the way he looks over to the left. Tries to get the safety off of where he's going to throw it. Boy, Jeff Cross right in his face. Kelly knows he's going to get nailed. Throws it right between the 8 and the 4.
Make it a 265-pound opponent into Kelly's chest. McKellar with a first down at the 19. Very impressive Buffalo today. Now it's Thurman Thomas. It's just one Pro Bowler after another on this Buffalo roster. In fact, 9 of them going to Hawaii. David Griggs makes the stop.
Dick, you can begin to see the toll it's taking on the Miami defense when players get up off the field, hands on hips. What is going on here? Geez, this worked so good. Yes, last week, what is happening? There's the hands on hips. Certain fatigue, certain frustration now in the Dolphin defense.
Screen to Thomas. The touchdown maker, Thomas, is into the 3-yard line, maybe the 2. Larry Webster saved the touchdown, and a big block from Pro Bowler Will Wolford, 69.
This is the same screen they scored on. The only thing is they didn't have Reed go in motion. It even beats the blitz. So Richer, 51 out there, 69 Wolford. They ran 4 screens in the first half. First quarter, every one of them worked, scored on one, come back to the screen. Boy, that's a play that they looked at this week in preparation for Miami and said, this is golden.
Thurman Thomas with 157 yards of offense for Buffalo today. He has outgained Miami by a bunch. Carwell Gardner, a rare call, did not surprise Miami, picked up a yard. Gardner, who had a couple of touchdowns this season but didn't carry, but just a handful, had 166 yards.
This is a position where Mitch Farrat, John Fina, number 70, is another guy who becomes eligible. You lobbied for him earlier.
The Pitbull. He wants to be a wrestler after his NFL career. He said, probably, I asked him, good guy, bad guy. He said, with my looks? He has 3 touchdown catches this year. 13th play of the drive. Farrat doesn't get a chance. Gardner does. Chased back, and he'll take the loss. Collier, Oliver in on the play. 3rd and goal.
This Buffalo offense can do so many things, can it? When it needs to. The drive down the field in little bits and pieces, nothing fancy. They tried 2 or 3 reverses. The screen works here and there.
In come Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, James Lofton, and Don Beebe on 3rd and goal from the 5.
The Dolphins counter with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 DBs.
Beebe way out to the right. Vincent on him, and here comes Reed, and they give to Thomas. Oh, look at the move. And they corral him at the 3. It takes more than that first hit to bring Thomas down. This one right in the middle of the field will be 21 yards. And the Buffalo count up 3 more. Bills 23, Dolphins 3.
Well, Miami literally fumbled away their opportunities in the 3rd quarter, and Buffalo continued to establish their dominance. Defensively, they held Miami to 0 first downs, and the Bills' offense put together a 15-play scoring drive as Buffalo dominated all aspects of the game. But with Marino, 3 touchdowns is still a possibility, so don't go away.
Get to the enthusiasm! Let's get play ball, okay? Let's play ball. Play ball, okay? Let's play ball.
Welcome back. Well, the 3rd quarter couldn't have started worse for Miami when from the opening kickoff, Mike Williams fumbled away possession and Buffalo recovered to drive downfield for the touchdown. And then Buffalo opened the 4th quarter with this 31-yard field goal by Steve Christie, extending their lead to 26-3. We join Miami's following drive. They have a 2nd and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
Now the screen. They reverse rolls, and Bobby Humphrey gets to midfield in a first down. The middle screen to Humphrey, 16 yards. Odoms made the stop.
Well, it's about time. This is beautifully executed. Watch the center Ulan. They take off here. 1,001, 1,002, and then he's out to block. Nice pickup, 16 yards.
Marino forced out of the cut by Smith and throws to Humphrey, and the sidelines of Miami looking for a penalty as both Smith and Mark Pike were rolling into the heels of Marino as he threw this one.
Look at the way he has to scramble outside again. Again, this is not by design. This is a scramble. Actually, Pike kind of let up on him a little bit there.
Darryl Talley try to fight it. This has been a knockout so far for the defense, which reminds me to wish a happy birthday to the greatest, Muhammad Ali, 51 today. Happy birthday, champion.
He can't be 51 years old.
To the sidelines, and breaking away is Tony Martin, and the former college quarterback is inside the 30.
But Dick, did he trip over his own feet? It looked to me like when he broke away from the tackle. Let's see what happens. J.D. Williams. I'm not so sure. Let's see what happens. No, J.D. Williams does make a swipe at his leg and just gets him to the ground.
Oh, Humphrey open, but the pass just off his fingertips. Hansen and Jeff Wright in on Marino. Even on the short stuff, Marino, who likes that three-step drop and the quick throw, just not getting a lot of time.
Yeah, and Dick, I think the tone was set in that one play we had in the first half where he went 1, 2, 3 steps, bam, Bruce Smith sacked him. At that point, the clock in Dan Marino's head changed for the day.
And fans will remember the Monday night game when Buffalo won down here, and Miami started just royally, scored 2 quick touchdowns, but at the start of the second half, Smith sacked Marino, and it changed the whole flow of that game.
The quarterback gets that clock in his head as to how much time he's going to get, and they really set a very quick clock on Marino in the first quarter.
Illegal motion, number 88, offense, 5 yards, second down.
Actually, Jackson had left the line of scrimmage, as you saw, before the snap.
Illegal motion.
It's hard to tell when the ball is snapped, but he did break across the line of scrimmage.
The Bills in the AFC Championship 3 straight years, and they've given up 1 touchdown in those 3 games. Over the middle to Jackson. And Talley and Matt Darby collaborate on the tackle at the 13, a 22-yard play.
This Dolphin team is not going to lay down. Don Shula doesn't coach a team like that. So the last gasp, they'll give it an effort.
Jackson now leading Miami with 5 catches. Marino intercepted. Clifford Hicks. And Hicks across the 30, tripped up at the 35-yard line. Intended for Keith Jackson, and Hicks stepping inside to pick it off, and another big defensive play for the Buffalo Bills, looking to Pasadena.
The Bills were unable to take advantage of Clifford Hicks' interception and were forced to punt. We join Miami's following drive. They have a 1st and 10 at Buffalo's 35-yard line.
Wide open is Martin. Touchdown.
Oh, out of bounds.
Nope, he didn't quite stay in bounds.
Lost his concentration.
Ball was carrying him that way. They've moved back some of the photographers and folks on the sidelines to give a little more room than earlier in the game.
J.D. Williams kind of funnels him outside. The safety should come here in a minute. And as he makes the reception, I think it's his right foot that comes down out of bounds. Yes, excellent call by the officials. One of the toughest calls to make in the NFL. Where did you say Martin was a quarterback?
Mesa College.
He may have been a quarterback until he got to round number 13. Now we know he's a receiver. 13 is a quarterback.
It was a good pickup by Don Shula. One of those players that you change position a couple of years and they develop. Marino to Jackson, incomplete, off his fingertips, and he saw Henry Jones, the safety, coming up to say hello.
This is generally an ugly part of every football game. You don't want to end the season. You don't want to end a season with an injury. You don't want to face some kind of surgery when the season ends. You know, you want to recover for the next one. And you see Keith looking down the field here, and you know that safety sitting back there. That's not an accusation. I'm not shortchanging Keith Jackson. He's an all-pro, but you know, the next thing we got is a 6-month rest. I don't want to spend part of it in a cast. Wish there was some way we could, in football, accommodate the rest of this game. There's no way other than to play it.
On 3rd and 10, here comes Smith, a screen to Craver this time. And he carries the tackler, Kirby Jackson, close to a first down. They'll spot it at the 26. That'll be shy by a yard and bring up 4th down.
A screen today, not an original idea. Works, but not original.
So on 4th and 1 out of the shotgun, Marino. 8.5 minutes to go. Buffalo 26, Miami 3. That's the first down at the 21. Hicks making a tackle on Clayton. I'll make that Banks with a catch.
You know, you got to feel bad for Dan Marino. There's a certain urgency about this year. Last week he told us, I think this is our best chance to win the Super Bowl. Boy, has it gotten away from him quickly today.
Hansen dogging him on that throw, and Craver to the 15, a pickup of 6. Marcus Patton and Darryl Talley on the stop. Well, that Phil Hansen has really developed into a defensive threat. I mean, you have the advantage. Bruce Smith makes everyone better, but Hansen, from really a raw-boned, underweight rookie last year out of North Dakota State, and a force this year. Marino to the sidelines. A catch by Duper, and Duper scores. So Marino, in somewhat empty fashion, ties an NFL playoff mark held by Ken Stabler. 10 consecutive games that he has thrown a touchdown pass in the playoffs. 15 yards to Duper. John Elway was tied with Marino, as was just Elway and Marino had 9. So, see, you bring Elway in and you just erase him right out of it.
Not fair. It's just not fair.
We'll have a chance for rebuttal on our postgame report. Stoyanovich, who gave Miami a 51-yard field goal late in the first quarter to tie the game at 3, makes it 26-10.
Well, you know, when this game started, they got both Duper and Clayton involved early, but they have been almost absent. Here's Duper right out here. It's to just stand out there. Coverage is dropped by Odoms, and then Duper breaks the tackle and gets in the end zone. But I mean, everybody here knows that it's not going to help now with 7:32 to go in the 4th quarter.
Miami tried an onside kick following the touchdown, but it was recovered by Buffalo. Steve Christie then put the icing on the cake with his 5th field goal to make the final score 29-10 to the Bills. Well, big win for the Buffalo Bills. That means they're going to their 3rd straight Super Bowl. But the big question is, Sam, first you picked Miami, as I did. What happened in this game?
Well, you know, every team has to come out ready to play. Miami didn't come out ready to play. There's something called the cutting edge, when you're really ready to play, totally prepared. Buffalo was, Miami was not.
We've seen an up-and-down Bills team this year, haven't we? How good are they?
Well, they're a good football team. They are up and down, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle the next 2 weeks. The one thing about Super Bowl is you get a 2-week layoff, and for 2 weeks you have to handle the hype, the congratulations, you know, the pat on the back for what you've done so far, and still go out and play a winning game in Super Bowl.
Well, I wish I'd lived through it. I wish I'd known what it was like. Even if I'd lost, I wouldn't mind losing twice.
There's nothing better, believe me.
And now let's turn our attention to Candlestick Park and the game many people are calling